Hey guys, Danielle here. Welcome to Adrenaline Junkies Workout tutorial. The first move is going to be the dragon pendulum lunges. I started out on my right leg and using a 15-pound weight. You can go heavier or lighter, and later on I show you a modification without weight. So your feet are going to be spread wider than shoulder width. You want to hold the dumbbell at chest level. Lunge back into a curtsy lunge, but as you do, you bring the weight down on the outside of your left foot. You return to starting position, and with the same leg, you do a forward curtsy, or what's also called a pendulum curtsy lunge. Here I'm showing you a side view. As you lunge back, bring the weight down and push off the ball of your foot. And as you lunge forward, bring the weight up, keeping your arms in line with your shoulders. Never bang your knees down. You want to do this nice, slow, and controlled. And here I'm going to show you how to do it without weight. You will be reaching down with your opposite hand to touch the ground. Keep your chest up and your shoulders back, your abs drawn in. Always make sure that your knees don't go over your toes. You could also put your hands, clasp your hands in front of you to help keep your balance. And then if you can't do the curtsy lunge or dragon pendulum lunge, you can always just lunge forward and back on the same leg. So we'll be doing 1 minute for each leg with a 15-second break in between. If you need to, you could always hold on to a chair to keep your balance. Okay, the next move is the renegade row calf raises. I was using two 15-pound weights. You want to use whatever weight that's challenging for you, but not so heavy that you lose your form. You always want to maintain a proper form throughout each exercise. So get into plank position and do a push-up. Widening your feet helps to keep your body from shifting. You want to keep your hips parallel to the floor. So do a row on each arm and 2 push-ups. Place the weights, or jump up and then place the weights at shoulder level, right above your shoulders, and power up onto your toes, as high on your toes as you can, and really try to squeeze your calves. So do a push-up, and you can either do a row with a push-up between, or you can row with both arms and do another push-up at the end. Really, really engage your abs and squeeze. You pretty much want to keep your entire body taut as you're in the plank position. Here I'll be showing you how to do it without weights. You do a push-up and then lift your arm up off the ground as high as you can. Once again, keeping your hips parallel to the floor. And you can do a push-up on your knees, step up, and from a squat position, reach up. I don't know why, I always lose my balance on that. So step or jump back into plank, and an even easier variation of the one arm raise would be to do it off your knees. Our next move is the flutter kicks, hold, and leg lift. So you want to lie on your back. You can always place your hands under the small of your back or under your butt. This will help keep you from arching your back or straining your back. As you develop more core strength, you'll be able to hold your legs lower to the ground without bringing your low back off the ground. So you want to kick your feet in small pulses, flutter them for 20 reps. Each time your foot comes up, that's 1 rep, and then hold for 2 to 3 seconds. And Raise your legs up to about hip level and push your butt off the floor. Now the higher you keep your legs, the easier it is. The lower, the more it engages your abs. If you can't do the kicks, you can just do the hold for as long as you can. Rest by bringing your knees to your chest. And an easier variation of the leg lift is to bend your knees and just a small motion. Bring your butt up off the floor just a little bit. Next we have the tricep leg lifts, plank jacks to reptile. You're going to place your hands directly underneath your shoulders, get back in plank position, and as you lower yourself, you're going to keep your elbows tight to your ribs and hover just a few inches off the ground. You're going to lift both legs as high as you can and then do 2 plank jacks. As you come up, with the heel of your hands, you're going to push the ground away from you into high plank. Here in a minute, I'll show you how to do it. If you can't do both arms, you can do one arm at a time. But as you get to the top of or high plank, you're going to do 2 reptiles, bringing your knees to your elbows. Now, an easier variation, if you can't do the tricep plank or tricep hold, you can come down on your forearms, clasp your hands together, and do the same movements. You're going to lift your legs as high as you can. Then do 2 plank jacks each time your feet come out. That's 1. And then 1 at a time, use your arms to lift yourself into high plank. The easiest variation would be on your knees. And when you do the leg lifts, you can keep your knees bent. Instead of the plank jacks, low impact would just be to step out. And then come up into high plank on your knees and do a reptile on each side. Up next are the mountain climbers and mountain sprints. We're doing 10 reps for each, switching back and forth. In the mountain climber, while you're doing the mountain climbers, high plank, you can touch your feet down or you can keep them up like I am here. I find it to be a little bit more challenging that way. And then the sprints, it's basically like high knees, but you're really getting your upper body, your arms involved. As soon as you do 10 mountain climbers, you hop up and then perform 10 mountain sprints. On the mountain sprints, you're going to be lifting the opposite arm. So as I lift my left knee, my right arm would go up. A lower impact version would be just to slow the movement down. Still try to get your knee as high up as you can. This is going to work your abs and your shoulders. And then step up and do a slower version of high knees. And you can get your arms involved if you don't mind looking kind of silly. Now we'll be doing the deadlift jump lunges. I was using 2 15-pound weights. As always, use whatever challenges you, but you can maintain proper form. So you're going to step 1 foot in between the weights and then do a jump switch lunge. And power up onto that stabilizing leg. Perform 1 deadlift. Come all the way to the top, squeeze your butt, and then down again, where you'll drop the weights, lunge back all the way down, and switch sides. Now as you're doing the deadlift, you want to keep, you can reset your shoulders like I just did there. Keep them down and back, away from your ears, your chest up. And when you do the jump switch, don't bang your knee down onto the mat. If you don't have the strength, or you have previous knee injuries or pre-existing knee injuries, then you can just lunge back. And you can always just, instead of doing a one leg or a single leg deadlift, you can do with both feet planted. It's just whatever you're comfortable doing. And when you're doing the deadlift, also never crane your neck to look up. You want to keep your head and neck, you want to keep a neutral spine. And here I'm showing you the easiest variation is without weight. Now anytime you do a deadlift, you always want to keep a soft knee. You don't want to lock your knees out, and you want to hinge from the waist, keeping your back straight at all times. Up next, we're doing the static curl press outs. Once again, I was using 15 pounds. Since you are holding the static curl position for so long, you want to choose a lighter weight. You curl alternating sides on this one. And once you perform a curl, when you get back to the starting position, you're going to press the weight out and away from your body. And if you can't hold the static curl position, you can just do a basic curl, and then once again the press out. The only modification for that is to lighten the weight. Okay, now we'll be doing the plank pull 180 tuck. I used a 20-pound dumbbell. You want to keep your feet in a wide stance and grab the dumbbell and pull it down the center line of your body. You want to make sure you have plenty of room to do this. So grab the weight and pull it down as far as you can. Hop up into squat and do a 180 jump tuck. Make sure when you're doing the jump tuck that you land softly. You can also step back and do this from on your knees. And step up, and you can do a little hop, or you can just turn around if you happen to live in an apartment or a dorm room. And each time you're pulling the weight down, when you turn the opposite direction and make the 180-degree turn, you're using the other arm. So if you used your right arm, then you turn, and then you use your left arm to pull the weight through. Up next is the crab walk breakdance push-up, also known as the thread the needle push-up with a crab walk. So you're going to get in crab or tabletop position and take 2 to 3 steps to your right or left. You're going to take your outside leg, pull it under your inside leg, and turn your body in that direction. And do a push-up and then reverse the movement. Walk back the other way. Take the outside leg underneath the inside, do a push-up, and then back the way you started. Here I'm showing you from the side. So you're turning your body in the direction that the leg you're using. An easier variation of this would be to do the crab walk and then just turn your body slowly to one side, and then do a push-up off your knees, lifting one leg. Then the other direction, just make sure you're using the opposite leg. The next move before the The bonus move are the Turkish launchers, also called the Turkish get-ups. You're going to want to use a slightly lighter weight here. I was using a 10-pound dumbbell. You're going to lie on your back and raise your arm right above your shoulder. And as you come up to standing position, you're going to keep that arm fully extended, always lifted right in line with your shoulder. As you reach standing position, you're going to lunge back with that same leg and bring the weight down right above your shoulder at the same time. As you leap up off the ground, you bring both your knee and your arm back up. Switch arms at the bottom. You are going to tap your knee gently on the floor, the lunging knee, so that you can get maximum power to really launch up off that leg. Here I'm showing you how to do it without weight. You can either do the jump lunge, or you can just bring your knee up as high as you can as a low impact alternative. So once again, you can either lunge back and launch up, or lunge back and just drive your knee up. The next move was the bonus move, completely optional. It's the kick up to single leg dive bomber. You could do single leg, or you can do it, I don't think I showed that variation here, but you can do it off both feet. But the dive bomber needs to be a completely fluid motion, so nose, chest, hips, and then reverse, hips, chest, nose. Imagine there's a bar in front of you that you're trying to go under without touching. So lunge back, kick, extend the forward leg up and behind you, and then dive bomber. Reverse the movement, get back to starting position, and switch legs. You're going to alternate legs after each rep. And on this we'll be doing, in the bonus round, it'll be for 3 full minutes. So nose, chest, hip, hip, chest, nose. And keep your arms, you're going to want your arms slightly wider than shoulder width. And if you can't kick that high, it's perfectly fine. Just kick as high as you can without pulling anything. And you can do the dive bomber on your knees. It is much less challenging, but still effective. That's how I started. When I first tried the dive bomber, there was no way I could do it with my arms straight and on my toes. No matter how difficult an exercise is, there's always a variation or modification at any fitness level. I started push-ups from my knees. Within a couple months, I could do 2 to 3, and I was just ecstatic about it. And now I can do much more than 2 or 3. Never let it intimidate you. So this was the tutorial. Thanks once again for watching, and I hope you come join me in the workout.